failed to deliver a message to the CPO ahead of tomorrow's negotiations. That 8% just won't do. The teachers and their comrades proceeded along Independence Square, up Edward, and across New Street. Their voices echoed along Edward as they began their trek at around 2 this afternoon. Restricted by police to using loudspeakers and their sound system only when the procession came to a stop, they produced a medley of protest songs to get their point across. But it is not just the offer of 8%, tabled after the external labour market survey, which took almost 3 years to complete, that has incensed the teachers. They say they have been negotiating for the period 2008 to 2011 for the past 2 years and 9 months.
The Chief Personnel Officer must do the right thing by expediting the negotiations, bring it to a settlement so that we can go on to the next period. But that is not happening. And therefore, with the slow pace and the malingering by the Chief Personnel Officer, we have decided that we cannot take it anymore.
The Tutor President says negotiations take place around the table and on the street, and they reluctantly chose the latter today. Luckily for them, the woman they had come to address, Stephanie Lewis, was still at her office by the time they snaked their way alongside the Chief Personnel Officer's Personnel Department on St. Vincent Street. But there would be no premature confrontation between the two groups as a heavy police presence ensured the front of the building was secure. Tutor Vice President Devanand Sinanan says the offer in front of them is inadequate.
The latest offer from the CPO is attempting to close the gap, for example, as identified by the survey in grades 3 and 4, that is where the bulk of our teachers are, primary and secondary school teachers, by just about 81%, and we are not in agreement with that. We feel that that gap has to be closed even more than that. However, we have made a tremendous concession to the CPO in that we are not actually asking for 100% closure of the gap.
He says, however, 80 to 81% leaves several grades of teachers way below the market and will not cut it. They eventually moved on from St. Vincent Street, along Park Street, down Frederick and back onto Independence Square. If they are not satisfied with the outcome tomorrow, they will decide what their next course of action will be. Joe Van Ravello, TV6 News.